This time I'm walking to New Orleans. I'm walking to New Orleans. I'm gonna need to parachute when I get through walking these blues. When I get back to New Orleans.
This is Ray, and I'm going to kind of get right to this one. I want to talk about the stabbing in New York and Queens the other day. Uh, 31-year-old hero came to the aid of a woman who was being chased by an assailant with a knife, and he was trying to stab her, and this young kid, 31 years old, tried to stop it, and he got mortally wounded, stabbed, and dropped on the sidewalk and laying there bleeding to death. And video shows at least a dozen people walking by this guy, and it's incredible. I mean, you look at this video, and I've seen a few other ones like it, and you just shake your head uh, because I am no sacred cow. I am no brave warrior. There's nothing special about me. In fact, I've had kind of a shady past, but I had never lost that thing inside me, man. There is no question in my mind I would stop, and I would have come to help that person out. And but these 12 people or so just walked by. One guy came out with a cell phone and took a picture of his body laying on the sidewalk. Another guy stopped and did shake him, but then walked on. Uh, Nobody called, the police to come and save him, and he was a hero. And he died right there on the sidewalk. And you wonder where human compassion is. Uh, I can't believe it's gone. I can't believe that Americans, human beings, have lost that sense of common decency. Uh, a couple of years ago, there was a 74-year-old man who was hit and run and was laying in the middle of the street. And he was still alive. He was dying, but he was still alive. And it was in an exclusive part of town, people in business suits, women with shopping bags coming out of these exclusive stores with their daughter and stuff. And nobody, there was more than a dozen, there was like 100. Nobody went out into the street. People drove out around him. Nobody stopped. Nobody called the police. Nobody called 911. No, and you wonder, I mean, I'm stunned, because it means that I am different than they are in the sense that I've got more compassion than they got, because there is no question in my mind whatsoever I would stop, because it didn't take courage. It just took compassion. You want to talk about compassion and courage. You talk about William Autry, the guy in the New York subway that jumped down into the subway to save a complete, total stranger and lay on top of him while the train ran across them. Now, that took compassion and courage. But he didn't have a chance to react and think, am I brave enough to do this? Blah, blah, blah. It was something in his heart, automatically, instinctual. I'm saving this guy. He didn't think about it. These people had a chance to think about it. Should I call somebody? Should I do something for this guy? And they didn't. They did not do a damn thing. And I don't know if the world has changed or what. I remember 30 years ago or something like that. It was a famous case of a young girl getting stabbed to death outside an apartment house, and there were 31 witnesses to it. And this killer that was stabbing her stabbed her and then left. And nobody called, nobody went down to help her. Then he came back, stabbed her again, left. Still nobody called. Looked out the window and stuff, still didn't react. Came back again, like 3 different times, and then she died. And everybody thought how horrendous. And I thought then, you know, what is going on with human beings? See, this video is not about teaching you anything. It's about asking yourself. It's about questioning who you are and what you are inside. Would I run to a burning car and pull somebody out when I knew that it could blow up? Yes, I would. I know I would. And I know my friends would. And I think most of the people watching this video would say the same thing. I think there are more good people in this world than there are bad. But how do you explain a dozen people walking by this guy who was a hero and not trying to help him? How do you explain 100 people looking at a 74-year-old man dying in the middle of the street? What, are you afraid to put your bag down? Afraid to walk out and maybe get blood on your hands? I don't get it. I really don't get it. There are times when courage and compassion clash, and you got to think about it, like a fight, breaking up a knife fight with some people, some guys beating up on another guy. Do you go in there and, you know? But this was about none of that. This took simple human decency, something that we better not lose as Americans or human beings. We better not lose that. And that's the question I have, is I would like to hear what the reasons were that these people didn't react. That's the thing that bothers me the most, because unless I'm totally lying to myself, there's no way that I wouldn't stop. There's no way that I wouldn't run to a burning car. Let me die that way. If I gotta die, let me die saving somebody. These people, I don't know who they are. I mean, they got to be regular human beings. They got to have kids and have dinner and decorate Christmas trees. And why wouldn't they react in this situation that didn't require courage, just compassion? I just ask everybody, really, looking at this, to look at themselves and think what they would do. I got to believe that most people would react. And I'm praying that's true, because it was tragic to see human beings behave like that. It makes you ashamed.
I've got my suitcase in my hand.